to you by Pfizer.
In this video, you're going to see the future.
U.S. Treasury is higher.
Breaking news. We've got a livestock there.
Hello there, you Awakening Wonders. Thanks for joining me today for Stay Free with Russell Brand. It's Holy Week, and what a week it is to be free and able to speak freely about whatever we want to, knowing, and this is the thing I'm learning at the moment, that the realm within which the senses dwell is but a fragment of a fractal total spiraling into the infinite. If death itself can be defeated, all evil can be destroyed. You may not know it yet, but we are in a spiritual war. Let me know in the comments and chat if you know about that. Thanks Tim Pool and Tim Cast for the raid. Remember, you should get Rumble Premium if you don't have it now and participate in Rumble's daily lineup that includes me, Crowder, Tim Pool, Greenwald, Kim Iverson, all sorts of fantastic contributors, including Dave Rubin as well. It's been an extraordinary week, an extraordinary weekend. We're going to talk about the trade war, and I am going to do my level best to understand tariffs. And in fact, one of the people that's helped me to understand that is Theo Von, who talked about the observable economic impact of globalism on American towns and cities. We're going to be talking about it in a practical way. Hey, Mug Club in the house, runs with Foxes. Thanks for joining us. Bongino Army. Thanks for joining us. Hey, happy Pesach to our Jewish brothers and sisters. And if there's anything going on in some other religion that I don't know about, I love you as well. For the Holy Lord abides and loves. If you're not against us, you're for us. Thank you, Chris Hodge, for your acknowledgement of jealousy. The hair is looking pretty good. Man, I've had a crazy time. I've been spearfishing. Do you lot know that I've been spearfishing? And when I say I've been spearfishing, I mean some people that I was with were spearfishing. I got an earache at 20 feet down. Okay, we're going to talk about Trump at the UFC. We're going to talk about the Meta wars. Looks like Meta could be in some trouble, some monopolization and anti-trust stuff that's going to be interesting for us to learn about. Also, UK justice. Wouldn't it be an amazing concept? So, first of all, if you're on X or YouTube, we'll be with you for about 20 minutes or so. Then you'll have to join us. We want you to join us. You're welcome to join us over on Rumble. The world is changing fast. Bill Maher met with Donald Trump. Liberalism and its stranglehold over the media lessens and loosens. And if Bobby Kennedy is successful in banning the advertising of Big Pharma, how do you imagine legacy media will shift and alter then? Let me know what you think in the comments in the chat. Gabagool and Dean SNJ and my beloved friends over on locals like Rozelle and Kazo. Let me know if you can keep up with this giddying pace of change. Let me know if you sense something burgeoning this Holy Week. Let me know if you feel that we are in a time of radical transformation and indeed rebirth. Trump, though, business as usual. He's at UFC in Miami. Let's check it out.
And making the entrance right now to a standing ovation, the 47th President of the United States of America, flanked by UFC CEO Dana White and others, Donald J. Trump.
Is there anybody else that has a walk-in? No. Other than a fighter? I mean, he has no why. He has some music. Kid Rock starts playing.
He had one at the NCAA tournament too. He always gets a walkout. It's like a prerequisite for him coming. Give him the walkout. People love it.
They do.
Well, and what he loves is mixed martial arts, right? I mean, he talks about watching these fight nights when he is not in the building. And President Trump making his way to the octagon yet again for a massive UFC pay-per-view event.
Gotta talk to him about the fights. He really loves fights.
No doubt.
He
Loves
really
it.
The world's different now. New optics, new images, new pageantry. Can't imagine. What would that be? What would the equivalent of that have been with more Joe Biden or with Kamala Harris? What was their shtick and their pageantry and their appeals and their bombast? For him, yeah, it looks pretty natural, doesn't it? Who are them kids that are there as well? There's always a couple of people in them walkouts. I think, who's that? I like it when everyone's famous, like when it's like Tucker Carlson and Kid Rock and Bobby Kennedy, and you think, what is this extraordinary event? Trump is still, in a sense, baiting the decrepit and near-deceased Joe Biden, this time through cognitive tests. Trump's natural competitiveness leads him to assess his own appearance and performance in a cognitive test in ways that are pretty radical. I think at some points claiming that it revealed that his soul was in good shape. Let's have a look.
Everybody, Mr. President, just got back from Walter Reed. How'd it go? Planned with you. I think well. Every test you can imagine. I was there for a long time. The yearly physical. I think I did well. I think they're releasing the report on Sunday. Doctors, highly respected doctors. Great place, great, amazing place, actually.
Did they give you any suggestions or advice on anything you need to change up?
A little bit, but overall, I think I felt I was in very good shape. Good.
I think he seems all right there. One of the things that Bill Maher said that went super viral is that when he met Trump in office, he has this personability and affability, and most people report that he's incredibly likable, convivial, charismatic, good listener, joyful to be around. And the vitriol and, I'm going to say, sputum is part of the regular and ordinary public rhetoric that's not even particular to Donald Trump. All politics is like that. What is it when you see AOC shrieking hysterically? What is it when you see Keir Starmer nasally atoning that he's going to take no more nonsense and you better not say that or you'll get yourself all banged up, mate? What is it when sort of Macron all haughty and condemns people? I think the problem is sometimes that Trump's language vernacular has a different kind of resonance and a different kind of appeal. Said it on the show the other day that the fact is that an environment is being created in which someone like Trump, who has the dexterity and kind of vocal jiu-jitsu to manage these new conditions, he's flourishing. Kind of people want to change the rules a little bit now. It's weird, isn't it? It's a weird time to try to assess what the actual values were of the globalists, who definitely seem a bit blurry and befuddled right now, claiming suddenly to care about the stock market. So who are they supporting when they say that the trade wars and escalating tariff what do I want to call it? So situation causes them concern. Like, whose side are they really on? Well, at least stuff's happening now. Whatever you think about this, what you have to agree is that moves are being made. Things are changing. We're in a situation where Zuckerberg might face the breakup of his monopolies, that it might have been antitrust to accumulate WhatsApp and Instagram. And most of us know by now, every message I type on this thing, I'm like, oh God, should I just send that directly to the government? I mean, the trust in these institutions has broken down to such a point where all of us, I reckon, somehow collectively conjured from our imagination a figure that would stand up and express the vitriol. But now, even when I see Trump like that in a doorway of a plane, I don't think like that's not like a dark person, is it? That seems like a reasonable, strong, intense person primed for the conditions of a culture that escalated deliberately hate. And I'll tell you this as well, now that I'm hanging out a lot with like veterans and ex-service personnel and firefighters and people that like, you know, shoot and hunt and fish and live in the South, I've become more aware as a former liberal and occupant of cities and metropolitan life and cultural enclaves that you might regard as elite, that the rhetoric that was casually used to dismiss and condemn these people amounted to hate crimes itself. Like, oh, these slack-jawed redneck hillbilly idiots, they're racist. I meet these people, they're like Christian and competent, and I think there's been for a long time a kind of war against male competence, because you know what, right? If actually every day you were going spearfishing, I don't think you would want to sit around on a PlayStation 5 smoking weed and masturbating, because you would have to be diligent and able to get a boat across a sandbank. You'd need to know how to load up a harpoon gun. You'd have to know how to equalize. Getting the mask on's pretty difficult, actually. You'd have to be able to swim down 20, 30, 40, 50 feet and not freak out if you see a bull shark, and then like see a grouper or whatever fish is in season, because these guys were pretty diligent about that, and shoot it and not panic and not freak out and not spend all your time thinking, oh, every time I put the mask on and off, I think it's pulling too much hair out. There's been a war against competence, a war against masculinity. Even the generation of a war between men and women is ridiculous. Men and women is the best team that there could ever be. That is the crucible of life itself. Men and women aren't at war with one another. Men and women were created to be together. That don't mean that there ain't no other option available, although there's some guidance in here that I take pretty seriously for myself. But my religion is for me. I'm not expecting everyone to take it seriously, but what I do take seriously is when a culture behaves as a religion, when a state behaves as a god. When they determine what speech should be free and what speech should be denied and who it is that should be jailed and who it is that should be killed. Man, this is a time to awaken and awaken fast. This is a time that created Trump as president. You can't even sit and equivocate and make a moral judgment about it. Maybe you could say the same for Elizabeth Warren or AOC or Biden. It's a culture that generated a class of marionette, sort of squawking weird harpies and hollowed out husk politicians that were little more than vessels and vassals for corporatism. What we have got now is an opportunity to reboot, to align with nature fast, to become competent together, to revere and love one another, to advocate for maximum subsidiarity. That means control. Control over your life, control over your family, control over your community, and absolute surrender and service to the highest principle there is. And for me, that means God and Jesus. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and chat, wherever you're watching that video. Ensure that you join us over on Rumble. Rumble is where we stream. We stream live right now. That's how I'm able to look at Turf Dog 1, Gabba is a Rainbow, Dido Polisher, trying to fame Russ and Rumble as my anti-Semitism. I'm not like an anti-Semite. Some people think I'm an anti-Semite. Some people think I'm Zionist. Like, that's just the way it is to be in the... That's the way it is to be in this space these days. Trish McLeod, I'm scared. I'm scared too. I don't even have control over my farts, says Stephen E. Nor do I some days. There are days when I think I daren't push through on that one. There could be a terrible price to pay later. But would I wear white if I wasn't confident in these sweet bowels of mine? Would I? Do I look crazy to you? Do I look crazy to you? You might be watching this on X. Jesus hates the Jews. I don't think that's true, Gabagol. Z is G047. Sorry, your ex-wife made it back to Earth. I am happy that Katy Perry went to space, and I'm happy that Katy Perry made it back safely. I believe she went to space with Jeff Bezos' fiance, Lauren Sanchez. Well, some women went to space. Why not, man? Why not? Go to space. Let's look into this. I've not looked into this story yet. But I do remember when I was married to Katy Perry, she bought me a ticket to space. I should have seen the writing on the wall then, shouldn't I? Hey, do you want to fuck after space, maybe? Let's get into that in a minute. But first, let's get into that right now. This is Katy Perry went to space with Lauren Sanchez.
Where's Carrie Ann?
It's a nice space outfit. It's a good space outfit. I like it. I like the look of it. I see Jeff Bezos sidling off in a bit more of a modest spacesuit, didn't he? I bet, listen, we're on Rumble right now. We're streaming on X right now. I bet you it don't take very long for someone to find something about that feather. And like, that feather that's a symbol. Come on, that feather's got to be a symbol of something. Come on, guys, don't let me down. What is that? What is that? Someone's actually managed to find Gabagool. You're going for it, mate. Gabagool's actually managed to find like a swastika, like on a keyboard. I don't know that you can actually get that. Ye's got one as a sort of a necklace, and now you can get them on there. And that's actually the first time I've ever seen voluntary moderation on our chat ever before. So well done. I'm guessing that's Luke. Yeah, a feather could like second check. Like, ain't that a ain't that a kind of a symbol for something? I bet it is. It's a symbol for something. Can't you find some Illuminati thing about that? I don't know. Like, I'm not saying it should be or that it is. I'm just astonished that someone on the Rumble chat's not like, that feather's a sign. Anyway, let's have a look at the rest of it.
Okay. Well, they're comfortable. Okay, that's for sure.
GDSMK147. You were married to Katy Perry. Elaborate. It was elaborate. Indeed, it was. Elsewhere in San Francisco, a 45-foot statue of a naked lady has been installed simply to jazz up downtown. We're starting the show, as always, here on Rumble, X, YouTube, wherever you're watching us, by having a light-hearted, sideways look, like that guy on ABC who's always looking at the news sideways. A sideways and askew glance at current events before diving into the issues that will dominate our time and our culture, which, of course, trade wars, censorship in the UK, and Meta being in a good deal of trouble, it looks like, as a result of their, it seems, potentially willingness to share information with the Chinese government, including information on American citizens. We're going to be getting into that. We're going to be talking about Bill Maher. Of course, we're going to talk about Douglas Murray and Dave Smith a little. Let me know in the comments and chat what you thought about that debate, what it revealed to you. In particular, do you believe that non-experts have the right ability, possibility, potentiality even to chit-chat online live, as we all are right now? We'll get into that in a moment. First, here's a quick message from one of our partners. Oh no, taxes! Who wants to pay that? Money you've worked hard to earn going straight to the government. Who are they going to bomb this week? We don't know yet. Could be Iran, could be someone. Anyway, you want to pay the minimum amount possible without breaking the law, right? Right? Of course you do. That's why you need Tax Network USA. This is the time to act. If you've fallen behind on filing or owe back taxes, delay will only make things worse, you know. Every day you wait increases your risk and the consequences. With over 5,000 new tax liens filed every day and powerful enforcement tools like property seizures, bank levies, wage garnishments at its disposal, the IRS is applying pressure at a level we haven't seen for years, driven by heightened administrative scrutiny. Damn you, Doge! Don't make the mistake of facing the IRS alone. Tax Network USA is here to take control. Whether your tax issue is $10,000, $10 million, $10 billion, doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter if it's not 10 something. You know, it's any number. Whatever it is, their team of skilled attorneys and seasoned negotiators have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt using proven strategies. They're not just making up strategies on the spot. That isn't a strategy, actually. A strategy means it's pre-organized, isn't it? It's not strategy, otherwise it's just impulse. Your consultation is absolutely free. Free. Get a free consultation. What have you got to lose? Well, you don't want to talk to him. You're worried about it. You might get McGillicuddy. McGillicuddy ain't working that day. You get that consultation for free. Don't wait for another letter or a surprise levy. Put a stop to growing interest, penalties and threats. Take back control of your finances. Call 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/brand. Tax season's here. Don't wait for April the 15th to make a move. Beat the IRS to it. We got so much to talk about. Justice in the UK. People are getting banged up for saying stuff online and in public. It's crazy over in my country right now. Heavenly Father, I pray, Lord. I pray for the government. Ain't we meant to pray for that? Aren't we meant to pray that our leaders feel the touch of a heavenly hand, that they're guided towards principles like justice, like transparency and integrity? Are they meant to do that? Are we meant to pray that on their behalf? What is the function of government? What is the function of media? Do you think that we're way out of line? Are you excited that Trump's doing crazy things like this weird escalatory tariff situation with China, which we'll be discussing in some detail, and may I say with considerable expertise later. Also, we'll be talking about Douglas Murray versus Dave Smith, which I think amounts to Israel-Palestine, as well as the ability for experts and non-experts to communicate. Even the class of the cadre of experts is, I suppose, a product of institutional thinking and bureaucracy. I'm minded to recall the time when Anglican vicars and people of the church, friars and such, became experts in nature and science, when religion and science were not seen as separate entities and disciplines, but complementary ones. Deeply we dive into the realms of AI and into examinations of the mind. I had the privilege at an event that I attended at the weekend of talking to some young and brilliant people that are experts in the field of artificial intelligence. They said to me that they're trying to study at depth now, based on models of neurology, the idea that AI might not emulate synaptic interconnectivity as we understand neurology to be, but that within the synapses are complex protein strands and neurons firing, i.e. the synapses and synaptic connections are not what determines the nature of consciousness or the observable nature of consciousness and the fields and interconnections of consciousness. No, within it there is a further subset. AI at the moment can emulate modalities of intelligence, but will it ever be able to understand that which is at our essence? And will it ever be more than just an advanced tool? Already it is one that dazzles and baffles. Who among us hasn't quarreled for a while with AI? tried to trick it a little bit. What do you mean? Why are you saying that about Bobby Kennedy? Why won't you do me a depiction of an American family that's the color of my choosing? Who's programming this thing? Who's policing the police? We have so many questions, and yet there is only one answer, and Holy Week is the time for us to contemplate that answer together as the holy war hots right up, as spiritual warfare becomes unignorable, yet more deplorable, as captured institutions are plainly used in order to persecute and control. We must become stronger together. We must recognize that our culture has defaulted to paganism. Paganism might mean that we acknowledge that there is God in all things, pantheistically at least. But as it has been argued, if God is everything, then God is anything. And you must have a strong constitution indeed to move about in the undifferentiated space of the preformed if you are to survive the evident and obvious demonic forces that are in this world. We know now that language is but a tool of the powerful. We know now that when people say democracy, they don't mean the will of the people. They mean a set of institutions that they control. And one of these things that these brilliant young men brought to me when I was talking to them the other day was, what is the basis of the idea of democracy itself? That the majority is correct, that the will of the majority has to be carried. That, in a sense, is an amalgamation. That is the idea that an amalgamation of collective human power is supreme. Those of us believe in God recognize that man is fallen, and that all of us need to be subjugated, at least we need to submit to a higher principle, and that higher principle is God. That you cannot aggregate the supreme through human intelligence, even though you might achieve great and vast wonders. You might even take a rocket right out into space, as Jeff Bezos has done numerous times. That guy's always up in space, isn't he? He's always up in space. It's an outrage out there. We have built false idols for many, many millennia, but they will always tumble. The one true God is making himself felt once again present. Let's have a look at this crazy scheme in San Francisco, a place of false idolatry if ever there were one.
He's up in those cheeks. Oh, he's really oh my God.
No, that's childish. Now you get out of that snoot. You get out of that snoot.
Oh my God. Yo.
I'm just doing my job. I'm just up here cleaning out the butt crack of a giant lady.
Yo!
I'm up in my cherry picker and I'm picking them cherries, baby. I'm up in the cherry picker picking them cherry, baby.
What the? Oh my.
With the heli on, with the heli Berry, with the heli Burton, with the heli Bron James. With the heli Cyrus.
Perfectly nice statue, don't be childish. Anarchy in the UK used to be the title of a Sex Pistols song. Now it would be a political improvement. Any form of devolved power would be an improvement. When you look at some of the diverse and emergent leaders in the UK, do they look like atavistic throwbacks, or are they the future? I'm talking, of course, of men like Jeremy Corbyn. Whether you agree with him or not, he's a man of principles, a man who the deep state took down. Look into it, baby. Also, men like Nigel Farage, feared, loathed. He's a man that I've personally quarrelled and quibbled with. The simple truth is this is no longer a time for left versus right. This is a time for anti-establishment to unite and to oppose the evident and clear globalist corruption of that queer fellow Keir. What a peculiar leader he is. Laden with nasal hypocrisy, he stands on a podium, he abides as he lies. We will reduce your bills, your gas bills, you can be sure of it. I'll be over there in Ukraine, and Putin, he will stand down. Old age pensioners have never been better. Farmers have never had it so good. I would say he lies through his teeth, but he don't. He talks through his nose, and he speaks a lot of the time straight out of his arse. But what are the British people going to do as authoritarianism accrues yet more power, as a corrupt and evil media owned by oligarchs and seeking only to divide and lie continues to parrot inevitable endless half-truths and lies? How will the British people rise up? Are we on the brink of a British revolution? Are these inept mannequins that stand in office now cracking, crumbling and falling before our very eyes? What did we learn from those lies exposed by Assange et al? Is this a time for real change in the UK? Apparently not. Arrests for offensive posts are doubling in 7 years. Now, you could favorably say, perhaps, that that's because people are online a lot more now. There's a lot more online traffic. Let me know in the comments and chat if you believe that the fact that UK arrests for online speech is reason to be concerned about the UK. Do you believe that a similar thing would have happened here in the United States of America had Kamala Harris and the Democrats won? Do you believe that the EU is a corrupted vessel, a bureaucracy that's designed to ensure that various governments and other non-government organisations continually align in their interests? An obvious example is Ursula von der Leyen's peculiar relationship with Albert Bourla at Pfizer that was exposed but not sufficiently investigated during the time of the pandemic. It's clear that there's a criminal class at the top of European politics and British politics in particular. That much appears to be evident, but will they ever be exposed? And what does it tell us when the laws that are passed and the arrests that are made always appear to benefit these powerful institutions? What does it mean when a UK mother is arrested for confiscating her children's iPads? Man, who among us that has kids and continually negotiates the screen, no screen axis? I don't want them to look at screens because I know that screens are fundamentally evil little Luciferian rectangles pumping their minds full of lies. But if I don't get 10 minutes away from these little bastards, I'm going to go crazy. Actually, no, look, what are they watching now? It's evil, vile, pagan propaganda that's lowering their frequency, that's lowering their consciousness, that's selling them food that's bad for them, that would pump them full of endless vaccinations that nullify their immune systems and, for as far as we know, make them vulnerable to demonic energies. I'm going to confiscate them. Woo, 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 woo. Excuse me, madam. The 6-year-old there has made a complaint that you confiscated their iPad. Well, I bought them the iPad. That doesn't matter, madam. I'll ask the questions. Well, doesn't it seem ridiculous that I'm being arrested because I've confiscated my child's iPad? Madam, it might seem ridiculous, but this is the United Kingdom, and ridiculous is what we do now. It's what we do best. And what could be more ridiculous, let me know in the comments and chat, than a man being arrested for being deaf? Yeah, you heard. He didn't, but you did. For being deaf. A man has been arrested for asking someone to speak more clearly. Asking someone to speak more clearly is racist now. Let's have a look at this extraordinary moment where the British police force, now I'm not talking about my own cases here now. I'm sure those investigations have been carried out thoroughly with the best of intentions, with justice and balance and integrity and authenticity and the protection of the vulnerable in mind. Let's put all that to one side over here and just look at this case and tell me in the comments and chat, does this look like a police force acting with integrity on behalf of the British people? Let's look at it with our own eyes. Who are you going to trust? The British government, the globalist media, or your own lying eyes?
Apparently during some conversations between yourself, apparently you have alleged, and we weren't here so I don't know you said it, but you've alleged to say speak English, or what's that effect?
Speak clearly.
Now you've been alleged to say speak English. Speak English is one of the most hurtful things a person can ever say. Let me know what you think about this in the comments in the chat. Calio99, second chat, and Polish Dog. Let me know over on Locals what you guys think. Love in Action, Sensitive Hearts. Let me know what you think on X and even you in YouTube. Captured though you may have been by the globalist forces that control our content over there. That's why we ultimately need you to join us over on Rumble. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat when you hear someone say, did you say speak English? No, I said, could you speak up? Even if he said, speak English, that ain't hate, you know. Like, it ain't hate for an English person in England to say, speak English. It's not great. That ain't great. Like me, personally, I reckon an open-hearted approach to all people, to all strangers, like that, you know, England is England for a reason, Scotland is Scotland, Ireland is Ireland, Wales is Wales, maximum devolution, maximum power to the population there, and then let those populations, if you agree with democracy, let me know in the comments and chat. Give those populations the chance to have a referendum on what they think is a sensible level of immigration. If you're trying to test the temperature of a nation, if you're trying to work out what people want and don't want, ask them. And maybe you could have referenda on a smaller basis still. Remember the principle of subsidiarity that I keep talking about. You could ask a particular borough, community or town, do you want to have immigrants come? If you do, you can decide on it because it's your life It's your taxes, it's your consciousness, it's your family, it's your rights. After all, we believe in democracy, don't we? Unless we're using the word democracy to mean our control over our institutions. And the only three letters you can trust in democracy is the first three. D-E-M. Not democratic, but demonic. That's what the UK increasingly looks like, that it's fallen to demonic forces. That's what I believe. Let me know if you believe that. Now, that might seem religiously hysterical, but does it seem religiously ridiculous to you that people are being arrested for saying speak English or speak clearly? That a mother has been arrested for confiscating an iPad off of her child? Does it seem ridiculous that there are these draconian practices taking place in the same nation where, when it was suggested that there might be a rape gang inquiry, the government went, what? Why would we want to have a rape gang inquiry? What could that possibly reveal? It's not like every half hour another member of parliament's revealed to be a paedophile. We don't need inquiries there. We need inquiries. Let's find somewhere else to do inquiries. Now, I'm not talking about my own complicated, it seems, cases. I'm not talking about that. But it seems like that the British government would be much happier to investigate the past. It seems like the British media, who've embraced hysterically, and as a matter of record, all manner of crackpots, kooks, paedophiles and perverts, embraced them, fated them, gloried in their perversions. Why is it they don't want to have a rape gang inquiry in the UK? Why is it that the British government and the British media seem to hate the British working class? Now, you remember that is not a phenomenon confined to the islands that I come from. But in the United States as well, there was this tendency to vilify and condemn American men and women that hunt and fish, that are competent and capable, that can survive. Is it a coincidence that the British are trying to strangle the very life out of their farmers, ensuring perhaps one could speculate control over food, over everything else as well? Maximum control seems to be the principle that they abide by. That's how it seems to me. Let's watch the rest of the British police arresting and harassing a British person for saying speak English in, what was the country he was in again? England.
Speak clearly. Speak clearly.
No, the gentleman's partially deaf.
Yeah, he can speak clearly. Yeah.
So I couldn't even hear him.
No, and that's fine, and that's why we've just come to speak, because potentially someone could perceive that as a hate crime.
Did we just know this?
Potentially, someone could perceive that as a hate crime. Potentially, we could wander together through the mirrors and mazes of all time. We could reimagine and reframe. We could repurpose and rename everything to defame whoever we need to defame. We can maim the past and maim the future, maim the present, come together, gather more power for Keir Starmer. They call him two-tier Keir. Some say that it's queer. Some say that the whole thing's an attempt to garner levels of authority that you would never grant to a charismatic madman like Genghis Khan, let alone some sort of pen-pushing dullard risen up through the fish tank of bureaucracy into the shark tank of globalist imperialism. Extraordinary, risen without trace, governing without morals. Let me know in the comments and chat what you think about British people being arrested for confiscating their children's screens. Let me know in the comments and chat what you think about the refusal to have an inquiry into the rape gang culture. Let me know what you think in the comments and chat about the British agricultural crisis, where British farmers are being ignored and shut down while Keir Starmer claims he's listening to those very same farmers. Let me know in the comments and chat what you think is going on in the United Kingdom. It seems like it's colossally and unimaginably and almost irreparably corrupt without powerful and radical change, which on the political level will mean new political alliances have to occur right now. I'm saying the right, in the form of, say, Nigel Farage, and the left, in the form of, say, Jeremy Corbyn and George Galloway and other former members of Parliament like Andrew Bridgen, who was one of the first to speak out about the post office scandal, where the British government looked away while innocent people were accused of crimes they didn't commit, and no one did anything about it until someone made a TV programme about it. It seems that the British are in complete control of that little rectangle of Luciferian doubt called the Goggle cereal box, that their moral center is so cleaved and broken that all they can discuss is the pixelated lies coming from pixelated liars. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and the chat. We got so much more to talk about. We're going to be talking about the trade war. We're going to be talking about the Meta trial. We're going to be talking about the fact that whether you like Trump or don't like Trump, things are changing fast as a result of this MAGA administration. If you're watching us on YouTube, we are leaving now. The first story we're going to be discussing are the tariffs. So click that link in the description. Get on over to Rumble, a platform that respects you and loves you. And if you get Rumble Premium, which is available for a small subscription, you get additional content from me as well as an ad-free experience. So come on over to that right now. Now, we've covered UK justice. It didn't take long, did it? Because there ain't much UK justice going on. We're now going to be talking about the trade war. Is Trump some kind of genius when it comes to geopolitical negotiations, or is he a crackpot, whack job lunatic? There's extreme experiences and opinions on both sides when it comes to that matter, and we'll be exploring all of it.